Gems. It's your favorite sisters here, Stephanie.
Kedna. Thank you for tuning in to Xclusive Gems podcast.
Thank you for tuning in. So today's episode, as you guys know, we are in series 3 where we're drinking tea and we're spilling tea. Today we are drinking Love and Me, and it is our herbal infusion that we've poured our hearts into to make, and it's delicious, and it is available on Mystic Mojo's Etsy account, so go ahead and look into that.
Today we are talking about a husband, mistress, and a wife scenario that we found online.
Juicy.
Yeah, and we're guys, pay attention to this one, okay?
Okay. So I'm gonna go ahead and read the post. The post reads, "My husband is mourning his dead mistress. 3 months ago, the woman who was having an affair with my husband died suddenly from an accident. I found out about the affair only 2 days after her funeral. I thought she was simply a coworker, and I was wondering why my husband was so disturbed and emotional. He quit his job, saying it was too traumatic to go to work. She was in the early weeks of pregnancy when she died, and my husband doesn't know whether he or her husband was the father. So on top of everything, he's also grieving for a baby which may or may not be his. I find it extremely difficult to be emotionally supportive when he wakes up at 3 a.m. crying and trembling, yet I don't have the heart to yell at him like I want to. He says she's dead, so there's no reason for me to feel jealous or threatened, and asks for my understanding as he grieves. We've barely talked these last few weeks because I don't know how to respond to my husband when he cries and says he misses her and wishes she was here. Then also how much he loves me and that he never intended to leave me. I asked him to visit a marriage therapist together, and he says he's not ready to work on our marriage and thinks he needs to see a grief therapist instead. Do I need to give him time to mourn the loss of his mistress, or should I demand he focus on our marriage?"
Woo. That one is heart-wrenching. And it's deep. It's strong.
It is so deep. Like, when I first read it, I felt so many emotions because if you've watched any of our videos prior, you would know that I consider myself an empath. Like, I take on to people's feelings. So when I first read that, to be honest, and I don't remember if I told you or somebody else, because I sent it to a few of my friends so we can talk about it. And so I could see like different people's perspective. But when I first read it, my first initial thought was, damn, that sucks.
Yeah.
Because me as the wife, like just being the person that I am, I would feel so, there's so many emotions. I would feel angry, number one, and I would feel so sad. I would feel so sad because, I mean, yeah, he was cheating on me with his mistress, but she just died. Like,
yeah,
she just died. Like, I'm angry at him, but then sad on her part. So it kind of leaves me in limbo to where I don't really know how to feel. I'm so furious, but then I'm like, dang, she just lost her life. And just her being pregnant throws a whole nother thing into the mix because I'm a sucker for kids. And I'm gonna be like, damn, and she was pregnant. Like, there's so many things that would run through my head, and I would feel so bad. Like, I would feel very sorry for my husband because of the fact that he was just involved in that situation. But I respect myself enough to let him go. I'm sorry, like, that's just a big no-no for me. If you're going to be cheating on me in whatever form, I don't care if it was emotional, physical, I don't give a damn. Cheating is cheating. So if you're going to be cheating on me and anything happens to your mistress, I will feel bad. I will feel bad for the mistress, or, you know, whoever it is that you're cheating on me with. I don't care. But at the end of the day, I have to respect myself enough to walk away from that relationship, especially if you're sitting there. Not that I'm saying that he shouldn't or he can't mourn the death of this person, because even if she wasn't his mistress, she was still his coworker and possibly a friend, because I would mourn the death of my friend or even like a close coworker of mine, you know. But just the fact that you're mourning her death and she was your mistress, that would rub me the wrong way. I'm sorry, like, I understand she's dead, but that would rub me the wrong way because at the end of the day, you cheated on me with her. So yeah, she's dead, and I'm sure you guys were close, but I'm not gonna sit there while you're mourning the death of the person you just cheated on me with. I'm sorry, but I would have to go.
Yeah, I would like to 100% agree with you. I feel like everybody has the rights to, in a situation like that, I think anybody in that situation has the right to do exactly what they feel like is necessary for them, right? So if I was to put myself in that shoes, I'm going to kind of just say this. I would not, I understand that he's grieving over somebody that he loves and someone that he loves, right? Because obviously it wasn't just, the woman wasn't just his mistress. I'm pretty sure she was a friend, a lover,
Right.
someone very important to him. And the fact that she could have been pregnant with his child, he has every right to grieve. But I guess my question to that woman is, what about you? Well, he's grieving over a loss, but I'm pretty sure she's grieving, honestly, not over a loss like a death, but over a loss of a
relationship.
A foundation that has been built off of lies almost.
Yeah.
You know, so she's grieving also. I think he is not taking her feelings into consideration. And I'm not going to say because he doesn't want to, because he actually can't.
He can't.
When you're grieving, how can you possibly think about someone else?
Yeah.
And the fact that she's grieving and she's still thinking about him, when is enough enough? If I was to put myself in that situation, I wouldn't even be thinking about any other parties. I would focus on me. The reason why I would focus on me, because I'm grieving, right? Everybody else that's grieving, understand it, they have every right to grieve. But what about me? Right? So I would take myself, if need be, if I could, I would take myself out of that situation, because it doesn't sound like it's getting any better. You know, he wants her to honor the fact that he's grieving and respect it, which she can, but from a distance. Not only does she have to deal with the fact that her husband cheated, but the way that she had to find out. She had to find out through the death of his mistress.
Yeah.
If the woman did not pass away, she probably would have never found out.
Yeah, that's true.
He would have had a whole child on her and everything, and probably would have dipped on her and left her for that mistress.
Never known. Oh my gosh.
Right?
Terrible.
So why should, and this might sound heartless, but why should I care that you're grieving, right? Why should I even entangle with that? Honestly, I wouldn't even entangle with it. It's your business. That's your business. You were the one cheating. You were the one that knew her, whatever the case may be. That's your life. That has nothing to do with me. The only thing that has to do with me is the fact that you're my husband and you took it upon yourself to cheat on me and basically have a baby out of wedlock. Now I have to focus on me. If you refuse to go to therapy with me to figure it out, then that's for me to slow my rolls, because that's telling me you don't care to work on the relationship. Because part of working on the marriage is going to be working on the fact that you're grieving over your dead mistress. My best advice and what I would do if I was in that situation is I would put myself first. You come first. It's okay to put yourself first, regardless if it's in a marriage dynamic, if it's a parent and child dynamic, whatever the case may be. Of course, there's some guidelines, there's balance, but in that specific situation where the person isn't even trying to consider your feelings, I want to answer her question. Her initial question is, should I give him time to grieve his loss of his mistress, or should I demand that he works on the marriage? My answer to you would be both. The reason why I say both is that he's going to obviously need time to grieve the loss of his mistress. He's already grieving it. He already announced it to you that he needs time, and that's what he's focused on right now. So honestly, even if you didn't give him time, which necessarily you can't do, he wouldn't
just take it.
Yeah, he would just take it. He's already asking you to go to a grieving therapist, and asking for your understanding or whatever the case may be, which is thoughtful of him somewhat. But yeah, that's kind of a no-brainer. He needs the time. You guys cannot work on things unless he grieves and figure that out. And then should you force him to work on the marriage? Actually, let me take that back. No, you shouldn't. It's not your job to force somebody to want to be with you and to want to work on something with you that they vowed that they would do, right? You're keeping your stance on your vows, but it's he.
Right.
Because when we think about the vows, you're supposed to focus on your wife. You're supposed to focus on your husband. Yeah, death is hard. Dealing with somebody that passed away in your life is hard.
Yeah.
Dealing with somebody that betrayed you is hard. Dealing with somebody that disrespect you is hard. Life can be hard, right? But we have to always remain logical and intentional with these things as well.
And present.
Yeah, because just because somebody you love and care about passed away, are you going to just throw your whole life away? So I think that's also very careless on his end too.
Yeah, that's
because
true.
and he's being very inconsiderate, because think about your wife, about the way that she had to find out.
Yeah.
About the fact that she had to find out that you cheated on her for who knows how long. You're having a whole mistress, a whole relationship, basically a whole family behind her back. The fact that he's focused on his mistress, I feel like that should tell you a lot.
Yeah.
It should tell you a lot about the relationship you guys had, how he felt the whole time about you and your marriage, and the current situation.
I agree with you, but I also disagree, and I only say I disagree only because you're saying just how he's grieving for the mistress, and just how like he's grieving for a mistress and he cheated. Like I get it,
Yeah.
But like it's hard to tell somebody that you shouldn't grieve over somebody that they cared so much about, whether it be a mistress, a friend, a coworker, whatever. Like when you care so much about someone, and if you're not living in the present, you know, and you are afraid of death, you're afraid of losing people, and you don't like to let go of things, when people die, people that you care about die, it is going to hit you hard. So if you are one of those people where, you know, you can't let go of things or people, it's hard. When you're grieving, you grieve hard. So if he's one of those people, of course, he's not going to be able to just be like, okay, you know what? Yeah, she's my mistress. Yeah, she died, but I got to focus on my wife. I'm sure he knows he got to focus on his wife, but he just lost his mistress, someone that he cared about. Not that I'm saying what he's doing is right, because me personally, if I was her, like I said, I would have been pissed and I would have been sad for her and her family that they lost an angel. But I would have been out of there, because at the end of the day, like, I have to put myself first, and you need your time to mourn. Just know that after you mourn, I will not be there, because you were having a whole affair behind my back.
But would you be there as Mourn?
That was my thing. That's actually something, that's where it was hard for me, because I would be there for him to mourn as a friend, but I would not be there for him as a wife. Because that's what I was battling when I first read the post. I was like, damn, like I'm the first time of cheating, I'm already gone. Like you no longer have me as your wife anymore. That's it. But I would feel so bad, because I mean, I want to say depending on how long I've been with the person, but time is not of the essence. Like, depending on how much I care about the person, I mean, and obviously if I'm married to you, well, if I'm married to you, then I really care about you. I really love you. So if I feel that way about you, just seeing you mourn, even though you're mourning a miss, like somebody you cheated on me with, is going to hurt me just as bad. And that's why I said in the beginning of the video that it's hard for me, because I am an empath. It's going to hurt me, and I'll feel bad. Like, I feel bad just leaving you alone in the house, mourning the death of somebody that you care and love so much. And at that point, it's not even, for me personally, it's not even about the fact that you're crying over somebody that you love when you're supposed to be loving me. It's just the fact that you are hurt, and I just want to be there for you, and like just hug you, and I just want to be there for you and comfort you. That's the only thing. But me as a wife, you can forget about it. I'm no longer your wife. So depending on how you feel about that, now you're going to be grieving the loss of your mistress and the loss of your wife. But I will be there for you, don't get me wrong.
Honestly, I love that. I think that's very sweet, sis. But I would not.
He's like, nah.
I would not. And the reason why I would not, I do have reasons, and that's because maybe I think I have like 3 reasons. Reason number 1, you being there isn't going to help his mourning. May I repeat that again? You being there isn't going to help his mourning.
It's a comfort thing, though.
It might even make it worse. Because I'm going to say why. Because, 1, you being by his side, helping him grieve, I don't think that's going to help him out. Because somebody by your side grieving doesn't help. In my opinion, grieving, like, it's an add-on. It's a plus. Like, okay, well, this person was there while I grieve. But it's not like you can make it better that he's grieving. And how are you going to be there while he grieves about his mistress, right? And you're still grieving yourself about your marriage and about that aspect of your life. Like, how can you actually be there? You know, like, how can you actually be there as a friend, as a whole person when that is weighing on your mind? When you may be getting triggered with certain things, right? While he's grieving about his mistress and you as his wife next to him, you don't think he's going to feel like a crap of a person?
He should.
Yeah, but that's not going to help him. It's not going to make him feel better. Because I'm pretty sure a little bit or a big amount of his grieving is also about you.
That's true.
You know, because he messed up.
Well, I guess in that instance, because I don't like to be where I'm not wanted. Like, that's one big thing for me. I don't like to be where I'm not wanted. I don't talk to people who I feel like I'm bothering. If you don't feel like talking, if I feel like, if I'm getting the vibe that you do not want to speak to me, I will not talk to you. Like, that's just the type of person I am.
Yeah.
So if I'm getting those vibes from him, like he's annoyed with me, or, you know, just not, I'm not helping in any type of way. But one of my things I always say when I see somebody grieving or somebody's going through something, I always say, what can I do to help you?
Okay.
What can I do to help you, number 1? And do you want me here?
Okay.
Can I hold you? Can I hug you? Like, I ask those questions because, like you said, not everybody is going to want that. Not everybody likes that. Not everybody wants to be touched when they're crying. Not everybody wants to talk when they're upset. Like,
exactly.
Everybody has their preferences. So that's why I like to ask, can I hold you? Do you want to talk? Do you want me here? Should I be here? Should I leave? Like, what do you want? Because...
Oh, sorry.
That's okay.
Okay, but I guess my main thing is, how can a hurt person soothe another hurt person? How does that work? That's
a very good question. But to be honest, I think that's just one of my superpowers. And I only say that because it's like, yeah, I would be hurting. But I think with me, when somebody that I really love and care about is hurting, I tend to put my hurt on the back burner. And like, I'll soothe you, whatever the case may be. But once you're good and, you know, whatever. And I don't want to say once you're like 100%, but once I see that you are better, that's when I will take initiative on my part to get up and leave. So that now I can really, and I mean, I can heal as the other person is healing.
Yeah.
I can work on healing because it's not like I'm going to be up under my husband, you know, this person.
Yeah.
The whole time that he's grieving.
Yeah.
So I would just be there. I would not leave him alone is what I mean. Like,
oh,
you know, husband and wife, you're living together. Typically, when there's an infidelity somewhere, somebody leaves. I'm just saying, like, I would not leave him alone because then I feel like he needs me at that point. Like, yeah, it sucks. What he did was crappy, and he's a sucky human being. But guess what? He's going to have to deal with the consequence of me no longer being in his life because of what he did. But right now, he is mourning somebody that he cared about, and even though it was somebody that he cheated on me with, yes, but I would just be there as a friend for him.
Yeah.
That's what I mean. Like, I would be there as a friend. Yeah, it hurts. Like, you hurt me and I know you hurt me. And I'm going to grieve too. Don't get me wrong. It's not like I'm going to be like, put on a mask and nothing's bothering me. I'm going to cry and, you know, do what I have to do in order to feel the emotions that I'm feeling. But I would not just be like, just dip and go.
Yeah.
You know?
Honestly, sis, I agree with that. But here's the thing. I feel like that advice would be good to somebody who still wants to work on their marriage. So you're going to coddle the person.
That's not true.
Yes, you're going to coddle the person Now this person's here thinking I still have a chance.
No, and that's the importance of communication.
But why would you tell somebody, you know, like, why would you be in someone's life knowing you're not going to be there anymore while they're grieving, just to tell them, I'm still leaving you, but I'm still here? That sounds contradictory.
No, you are a friend. Don't you? If your friend lost someone, because I guess maybe it's the way.
But this is not a friendship. This is a marriage that just split apart.
But Kedna, people are friends with their husbands.
But sis, what I'm telling you is, yeah, you guys are friends, but you guys are in a marriage. You guys are still in a marriage. This is something that just happened. The man is grieving, right? So. And this is just, if this was my case, if I'm grieving, right? If I'm in a situation where I messed up, I know I'm about to lose my partner, but my partner's like, okay, yeah, I'm leaving you, but they're still here, I'm going to think we're still working things out. Oh my gosh.
Well, you see, then maybe that's just an issue of mine.
Because I feel like that's misleading for the person.
I'm seeing it in two different ways. My thing is, words mean everything to me.
Yeah.
What you say to me is what I'm going to take, because you can't assume.
No, actions. That I feel like your words are saying one thing, but that action is saying something else.
You're right.
For somebody else.
Actions do say a big, like, it actions talks.
Yeah.
But in my opinion, I'm sorry, like, yeah, action does talk, but words mean a lot. Like, I understand what you mean. Like, yeah, it could be misleading, but if I am telling you, well, okay, how about this? What if I say, I understand that you are mourning. Mm-hmm. I'm going to give you time to mourn. I do want to let you know that I do not want to be with you.
Why even try? It's almost like you're doing yourself a disservice by staying in that situation. Give him his space. If that's what...
You guys both need space at the end of the day.
True.
Because like you said, you brought up a good point when you said that you are now grieving. Both of you guys are grieving because he's grieving the loss of a friend, of a mistress, or somebody he actually really truly cared about, and then she's also grieving over someone that she cared about, because she cared about him, but he also betrayed her. So now she's grieving the loss of the relationship, the loss of the marriage, the loss of the respect.
She's grieving in a lot of ways.
Yeah,
she's grieving. Honestly, if I feel bad for anybody, it's her.
I feel bad for her.
It's her.
Yeah,
she's grieving in a lot of ways. Like, marriage is almost basically lost. It seems like she's still trying to work it out.
She's trying to work it out, but you know, he has to grieve.
Yeah.
Somebody just died, and like you said, like, he has the right to grieve. He really does. It just sucks because she wants to work on the marriage, but he's stuck grieving on his mistress.
Exactly.
That sucks.
That is a very hard situation.
It is.
I wouldn't wish that on anybody, honestly. That's a hard pill to swallow. Definitely a hard pill to swallow. Yeah. But to answer your question, sis, if you want, it just depends on what you want to do, which it seems like she wants to work on her marriage. She wants
to work on her marriage. Yeah. That's what it seems like. So if you want to work on your marriage, then I mean, the only thing you can do is you have to give him the time to grieve. He has to mourn for his loss, because he did lose something, and it sucks, but he did lose someone he cares about. So if you decide to move on with the marriage from that point on, then you need to make sure that once he is done mourning, that you guys just move on with your lives and live happily ever after. Go to counseling, go to every type of counseling you can, marriage counseling, grief counseling, because both of you guys did go through a loss at this point. Yeah. And then marriage counseling, you know, in order to know what to do to mend your marriage.
Yeah. And honestly, I feel like that's going to be such a hard thing to come back from. So I wish you a lot of luck. Yeah. We don't know who this person is, but I hope that you guys were able to work it out. You can do anything that you put your mind to. For me, I wouldn't be able to, because I feel like it's something that I would always think about. Yeah. And it's something, and I personally don't like putting myself last. I don't do it for anybody. So it wouldn't work out for me, but best of luck to you and your family and your home. We're sending a lot of blessings your way.
Lots of love.
Lots of love and peace.
Yeah.
And forgiveness. Definitely. But let us know what you guys think about this discussion, Gems. What would you do if your husband cheated on you just to find out that his mistress passed, grieving his mistress and want you to be a part of that.
Grieving his
grief.
mistress and a possible baby.
And a possible baby. Yeah,
That's because that right there.
Yeah,
I'm
that's
sorry, but
yeah,
that right there.
Yeah.
All right, Jen. So that is the end of our discussion. We want to thank you for tuning in. Thank you for listening. Don't forget to check out our Etsy shop. And till next time, Gems. Bye.
Bye.